Hello, beautiful healing community. It's your girl Salenna, and this is the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. Um, we back for another episode, y'all. And this time I am joined by the lovely Janay, and we are going to be talking about hair love, okay? Because I genuinely love my hair. And as y'all can see, we both love this pineapple hairstyle because this was unplanned, but we did pop up with the same hair today. So you could just say that the wavelength is strong and we're both on it. If you're wearing a pineapple while you listen to this, like, that's alignment, okay? That is alignment.
Yes.
This is alignment. Oh my goodness.
We've had so many struggles getting here, and I'm really thankful for you, and I'm glad that we're here.
Yeah, we're about to talk about our hair journeys, y'all. We're about to talk about how we do what we do with our hair, what it's been like, the pains, the struggles, the beauty, the privilege. We're talking about it all. So, Janay, please introduce yourself to the people, and then we'll just hop right into this conversation.
Okay, well, my name is Janay Altavis, and I'm the president and co-founder of Belle Ren by Altavis, and we are a chemical-free hair and body care brand.
Ow. Thank you so much for joining me. Janay is also a cool person too. So she didn't add that, but I happen to know this.
I appreciate that.
So let's just get right into this and talk about our hair journeys. And obviously we're both sitting here with pineapples today, but this is not, this is not what it's always been for either of us. And so please remind me and let the people know, like, what has your hair journey been like?
Well, it's been something that taught me a lot about myself, and I am in my mid-30s now, and I thought as an adult that once you reach one level of self-actualization, you won't have to do it again. But going through my life, I realized that you have to reassess yourself, and one of the things is my connection with my hair. I thought that years ago when I decided that I'm content with who I am as a person, I wouldn't ever have to reevaluate that, and I'm learning that is something that is ongoing.
Yeah. Dang, that's so true. What type of, do you know your hair like type?
So I do. My mom and I don't really talk about it much because we don't really, I don't know, we don't really talk about it much because we don't really have many other people around us to discuss it with. But I'm like a 4B, mostly all the way around. In the middle, it's a little bit looser in the middle. But yeah, I got like a 4B, and I have like low to medium porosity. So I struggle with getting water in my hair, but I've learned how to manage that.
Say that. I always forget what like low or high porosity, like which is which.
Yeah, I actually recently put up a blog on the Belle Ren website about porosity, actually about moisture, and it's so confusing sometimes because like all these terms and technical things, but it's just like one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to focus on education so we can kind of break it down a little bit more. Like high porosity means like your high amounts of pores, so you're absorbing more. So porosity is relative. Yeah, so absorption. And low porosity is like your pores are more closed, so it's more difficult to absorb water. So that's kind of how you can remember it too. But it is there's so many things to learn. It's just so much terminology and science, and I get it. It's a lot.
Yeah, I used to like someone tried to explain it to me as like how fast your hair dries. Like if your hair dries fast, then that means you have high porosity. If it dries slow, it's. But I'm like, wouldn't that then be the opposite? What you just, I don't know. But
so when people would say that to me, I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I'm like, I don't know what fast is. Like,
right.
I need relative, but like for what I learned is like, since my hair, you put water on my hair, it kind of beads off a little bit. Some of it absorbs a little bit, but most of it just kind of, so I have to, I know what to do now to help that along, but it's just it's weird.
Wow. See, because I feel like then I would have like medium porosity because I feel like it doesn't just roll off. Like, but I do have to have it under there for a second, and then I'm like, okay, now it's getting in there,
Yeah. See,
right?
that sounds like you understand it fairly well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I have like type 4 hair, or sorry, yeah, type 4 hair. I'm not 100% on if it's B or C, or it's probably mixed B and C.
Yeah.
Because I know,
Do you have
like,
like a circular coil or do you have a zigzag?
I feel like I have to be C because mine will go anywhere. Like,
Okay.
it'll be like this.
Yeah, zigzag is more like a C. Yeah.
Yeah, see? And then I'll have like in the middle, like you said, will be the ones where it's actually coiled.
Yeah. See,
So I'm
that's
like, I definitely have
interesting.
the mixed types, but I know that that is normal. Most people have multiple hair types, no matter
Yeah.
what, if it's A through, or at 1 through 4, everybody got mixed hair types.
Yes, a lot of people have just more than one type of thing, and it's helpful to just pay attention to how your hair responds to stuff.
Yeah, I will say growing up, we didn't have a lot of candid conversations in my family about how to take care of your hair. I got my hair done regularly. Like it was, the grease and the
Yeah,
moisture, the pink hair lotion that a lot of us was using, and
and the bobbles and the barrettes and all
yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
all of that. And we had the caboodle that had all of it in there.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
had all of that, but still, I don't feel like anyone explicitly said, make sure you moisturize your hair before you detangle. Like, I locked my hair actually when I was in 8th grade. And so I feel like when I locked my hair, a part of the reason why I did it is because I didn't want to necessarily wear a weave. I don't like stuff on my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a sensory thing for me. Um, so I didn't like that, but I knew I had to do something with my hair because this was not acceptable growing up.
I get, yeah, like in the 90s, in the 2000s when we grew up, that was not a thing. This was not a thing. Okay,
Yeah.
the kids now, it's like the norm for them to have their curls and have their buns and all that. But this was not the thing when we were kids. It was all, you were either permed or braided. That's it. And it
Yeah.
was really rare to see people with locks too. Like it was.
Yeah. My mom locked her hair, I think, in the early 2000s, and she was one of the
Yeah,
only people that we knew or saw,
yeah, she
and
was
so
ahead of the
that was
curve.
part of it. Yeah,
She,
my mama and my dad actually both had locks. So
yeah.
that was kind of the representation that I had, and her hair seemed to do fine. And so I was like, look, she don't got to keep having people snatching at her head every month. I want that because I'm tender headed.
Yeah, and like when I was a kid, so I think I was permed from like kindergarten to like probably my senior year in high school. And then like I think when I was like 15, 16 is when I started to get box braids. So when I was in between getting my perm, I would have my hair braided. But then again, that became my default though. Like if I were to have like a cartoon made of me, she would have box braids.
Say
But
that.
so most of my when I was a child, like it was mostly perms, and by the time I got to high school, I was kind of choosing my own stuff. I would
Hmm.
either have my best friend braid my hair for me, like in like the zig like designs and stuff, or I would get the box
Yeah.
braids.
See,
And
I never got the design braids.
yeah, my
Those
friend
are so cute.
she was my best friend, and she would just like every weekend she would just sit down and braid my hair for me. I'm like, yeah, I wish I had a friend that did that for me now.
I know that's right.
But I didn't go chemical free until I was like 21. My 21st birthday actually. I
Wow.
think my senior prom I asked my family friend to chop my hair off in a bob, and this was like 3 months before Good Girl Gone Bad came out and Rihanna had her bob, and it was like right before, and I was like I see ahead of the game. I want a bob.
And do. Because
And I
nobody could say you was copying.
the White House poppy. And then when I was 19, I chopped my hair off in like literally like a little. I looked like a little boy, and I'm just like, I don't know, I just want to cut my hair off, and I dyed it brown. And then I just do all kind of different stuff. I think I've had every hairstyle known to man except for locks. Like literally, that's the only style I've never had.
Wow. Yeah, see, there's a lot I've never had. I've never had a perm. I did do box braids a lot. I was gonna say if I had a character, like mine would have had like some cornrows because that was mine. Like I was like, okay, I gotta sit down. I have to get my hair done. What can I do? I'd be like, please, can you just give me 4 cornrows straight back,
Yeah. And
please?
it'll stay, and it'll stay.
Yeah.
You don't have to bother it. That's really the reason I like box spray so much, because I am a low maintenance girl.
I'm
It's
the what
like,
they call the lazy natural. That's
oh,
me.
absolutely,
That archetype.
absolutely. Yes, that's
They like say black people's hair is high maintenance. Look, I'm gonna find a way to make mine low maintenance.
yeah,
Okay.
it can be, but if you're me, then you know how easy a pineapple is. Do you understand? I don't think people
Look.
understand how easy a pineapple is, but it looks nice. You're put together.
Mhm.
You know, it's out of your face. You
Hmm.
know.
And honestly, the only thing I had to do was wait for my hair to grow long enough. Because when I took it
Yeah.
out of locks, I cut my hair up to a bob because I was like, if I try to unlock this 29-inch bust down, like I'm about to be unlocking my hair for a year and a half, and I don't got the time.
That would have been your project for the season. Like,
Right. And it took me 7 days of constant, like it was in the middle of the pandemic, right? So we all had
oh, you
time.
had time.
We all had time. And I took that time to unlock my hair. And my husband helped me as much as he could, have the
Yeah, yeah,
patience too. But it was a beautiful process to unlock my hair myself because I had thought about getting it done in the salon, but something in me said, "No, this is for me. Like it's my hair. I want to do it." Like I
What got
developed that
you?
relationship with my hair while it was locked, that in unlocking my hair, I have this relationship with my hair now that's just so we work together, you know.
I love that. How did how did you come to the point where you wanted to make that change?
Well, high key, I was reflective and I realized at a certain point I still have my locks for other people. They're like, "Oh no, they're so long and so pretty. Don't cut it. Oh, your hair's so long. Your hair's so long. Long-haired people. I know you're doing it for other people."
And I get it. As being aspirational, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I kind of get
But
that.
honestly, it's been there, done that. Once you've done it, once you've had literally hair, like my scalp was aching because my hair was so long and heavy. I
Yeah.
can't keep my hair long for, you know what I mean? At that point, it's not good for my hair. Who am I keeping my hair long for?
Yeah. And there's something I think about often is the whole idea of our connection to ourselves and our hair, right? You spending that time to unlock was like time with yourself. And then
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all these times of like other people around us saying, "Oh, well, why would you cut it? Or why would you?" Because I cut my hair every couple of years because I like the drama. I like people like, "Oh my goodness, why did you do that?" I love that. I'm a drama queen. And my mom gets so irritated with me every time I do it because she's like, "Your hair is so healthy and beautiful." And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, I don't care about that." And it's funny because a few people in my life, but these are people that love me, right? A few
Mm-hmm.
people in my life have told me, like, since you have a natural beauty brand, it's probably best if you don't wear like extensions and stuff like that. And I'm like, I understand what you mean from like an optics point of view, but
Mm-hmm.
I am not from the I'm not from the natural hair community. I'm not like,
Right.
don't ever put any chemicals in your hair. Don't ever do
Mm-hmm.
this, and don't ever. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not like the preachy kind of like. I feel like your connection to yourself, how you present yourself, wherever those things come from, is you got to examine it within yourself. You only should be doing the things and presenting in the ways that make you feel good. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're only adhering to something, and if I'm only adhering to, oh, I'm never getting a perm again because I can't, because I have a natural hair care brand, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
never going to wear makeup again because I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're adhering to those things, these are pulling from your outside of you. And I try to remind myself, it's like the reason I started a business in the first place is so I could do what I want.
Yeah.
Also to show other people, like, you got to remember whatever ways that you feel best about presenting yourself, that is what you got to stick to, whatever that is.
Yeah. Honestly, those conversations and comments, even if they're like one off, were ones that like did delay the process of me
Yeah,
unlocking. And
because they
by
love
the time
you.
I did, it was like this closure with my locks. And I
Mm-hmm.
love locks. Like seeing people with locks. I'm like, oh, I see why we do it. But
Yeah.
I don't regret unlocking. I honestly, while I do think I will lock my hair again, it might be 20 years from now instead of,
Yeah.
I imagine myself just taking my locks out for a year and then putting them back in. Like that was literally it. But it's been over a year and I have no desire to relock my hair. Like I now just want to do what my hair wants to do. And my hair is saying that it's cool in its natural state. Like it's actually happy to just be all shrunk up and then maybe be stretched out the next day. Like it's okay. It loves twists. It loves Bantu knots. It likes a lot of things other than locks. What it didn't like was frankly my hair being done like just overdone. It doesn't
Like
like
too
it. It
tight
doesn't
and
like
too
to be
often and
overdone.
too. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I love that for you, where you just came to a point where, like, I'm going to listen to my body fully. I, I was thinking about when I was dancing the other day in my room. Sometimes I just put my headphones on, do a little dancing, and release some energy, and then I can get myself ready for the day. And it's always been like a running joke in my life. Like my friends and my family, like, no, you can't dance. I'm like, I just do whatever my body tells me to do, and it doesn't always look great. But that's what it is. You're listening to yourself. Like, I understand wanting to make sure that you are still being true to yourself while meeting other goals too. So it's balance.
Yeah, no, and I have a Leo Venus. I love attention. Like, let me just be clear on that. The attention that I got when I took, my big bun down and it's just inches on inches on inches. Like,
Hmm.
I love that,
Right.
I love the way my hair would sway on my back. I could wear it as a scarf. It kept me warm in the winter.
Yep.
All of that being said, it did just come to a point. I never regretted having locks, but if I kept them past when they were saying they were done, I was gonna start to resent it. And I didn't want that.
Yes.
I loved my locks. I love them. And I wanna love my hair in every stage that she's in. And so yeah, like we're living and when I'm locked again, we could be living then too,
Hey,
but that might be down the road. It might never happen again. Who knows? I just know my hair is gonna be healthy and happy.
yes, and not the ending of something doesn't necessarily mean it's bad.
Hmm.
Like some
Yeah.
things we can close and still have goodwill towards it.
Yeah. It was a very natural beginning and ending for those locks. And
Yeah,
it
that's
really
great.
showed me something about letting go and having something end in a way that was not abrupt or traumatic or the way that
Right.
other things ended in my life.
Because
Like,
you could have been forced to do that.
right.
You could have been forced for various ways, but you were able to come to that decision when you felt like it was right without having some trauma having to cause it.
Yeah. Like making informed decisions about my body. Whoa, where are all these emotions coming from? Excuse me one moment. Making this informed decision about my body without anyone else getting to choose for me. Wow. I don't even think I fully understood the implications of that when I made that decision because
You don't.
that's huge. And I didn't always get to decide what happened to my body. And so,
There's so few things in this life that we can control, especially at a young age.
oh, girl.
You take a moment, because that is what this is. That really is what this is. Like, us
Yeah.
being able to make any kind of decision about ourselves, there's so few things left that we can do that with. And then for it to be something that is our crown, that is so subversive to people for whatever reason, it's courageous, and it's strength, you know?
Yeah.
It, I was thinking, I had a mental hump that I had to get over, and I try to tell people when they're newly natural, I tell them, I'm like, listen, man, you're gonna have a mental hump, and it's gonna take some stuff to get past, for you to get past, for you to feel comfortable. It's okay at the beginning for you to not feel good or pretty or whatever it is. There's something that you've got to get through. Once you get
Mhm.
that through, that emotional toil is gonna feel like freedom. That's
Yeah.
probably the reason I still like when I feel like it have like extensions or whatever like that, because I feel free.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's a
like,
different attitude behind why you're doing it. It's
yes.
very much like I put in feed and twists in my own hair, and I was like, oh my God, I can like do this really cool thing with my hair. That was what it made me so excited. Like another cool thing that my hair can do. Are you kidding me? Like
Magical.
I
Oh, I
love
gotta
it.
show you a picture of the Bantu knots I did last week. Oh man, I
Oh
haven't had Bantu
yes.
knots in ages.
Oh, I love Bantu knots. I love them. And that was something that when I had locks, I felt like my hair was too long for. I tried to do some
Oh,
Bantu knots and they just like looked so like I
because there
was
was so
not
much, so much mass.
like my hair was just too long for Bantu knots. Like it looked ridiculous. And so now I get to do Bantu knots and they look so good and fun and like I get what you mean about that hump that you have to get past. I do feel like mine happened when I had locks because I was literally like
Okay.
how old was I with locks? 13.
So you went from childhood to adulthood with it. So
Like I was a 13-year-old with locks, so that was definitely when I was getting past that emotional hump. but, but I will say, when I made the transition, even when I cut my locks to not be, the 29-inch bust down no more, when I cut my hair up just to my mid back, I wondered, will I get as much attention anymore now that I don't have super
yeah.
long locks? Yes, I did. When I cut my hair to a bob, I was like, now that my hair isn't long at all, now am I going to get any more compliments on my hair? Is anyone even going to see it? Yes, they did. I got compliments on the bob. Then when I took my hair out of my locks, I was like, oh my God, now I'm just going to be natural. Now I'm just going to have black horsey hair. They still
These are
gave me
all these periods
compliments.
of mental thought patterns that you go through, and you're like, okay, what kind of criticism am I going to get? What kind of pushback am I going to get? And it's so weird to think that people have an opinion about our bodies, which is wild to me. But you think about that though. Like I think about that too. I think about the times like when I was when I wanted to times when I wanted to dye my hair, or times where I wanted to get a weave or whatever it was. I'm just like, oh
Mhm.
Lord, I'm not gonna hear the end of it about this and that. And you go through that analysis every time, like every time.
Yeah.
Every single style you do.
And it's like this cute little fun thing at this point because the stages that I went through, that was all in 1 year that I cut my hair up all those lengths and I dyed it like copper and
Hmm.
I feel another dye job coming. Like
I want to dye.
honestly, I
I want.
might be dyeing
Oh,
my hair again. Like I feel that spirit.
I really want either like a golden brown or a blonde. I've never had blonde, and I
The
want it.
blonde. Why is the blonde? It's one of those things where when you black and you know your hair can do everything, you coming for that blonde. Period. It's
I want it, and I think I want that like golden. You know how Beyonce's hair is like brownish blonde,
hmm
like
hmm
that. Like I want
Yeah,
like
like you
brownish.
find your shade.
So I want to do it, but it's like I don't go to the salon. But there's a few women in my family that are really proficient with that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
I'm
say
gonna go
that.
to them. I got
I
these
have like a
boxes.
couple of salons I trust.
I got
So
these couple of color boxes. I got these colors, and I'm like, I know I want to do them, but I was like, I just need to talk to my cousin, and be like, hey, girl, can you do this? Because like I
you're
just been holding
so
on to it. I'm scared.
yeah, no, I don't know nobody that I would trust to dye my hair. So that's amazing that you have people in your family who and I saw this girl on one of my hair inspirations on I follow her on, I want to say Instagram or TikTok, one of them. She dyes her own hair, and I'm like,
Oh, really?
wow. So there's levels
Like
to
bright
becoming
colors and
God's
stuff.
favorites. Like you can really dye your own hair, and your hair won't fall out. Okay,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The only reason I don't have a pixie cut is because my poor little hair just doesn't survive relaxers. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
if my hair was strong enough for relaxers, I would have a pixie cut for the rest of my life.
It is a bomb cut. I'm
Oh,
honestly trying to figure out how I can do a pixie too, because I'm not really trying to cut my hair again. Now that I've had my hair so long in locks, I kind of want to grow it out naturally and just see what that is like.
there was one point where my hair was like mid back length, and there was maybe like my third or fourth year into being like chemical free, and
hmm
then I got a haircut from a person who I didn't really know very well. But anyways, that 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 time of my hair being long was the only time my hair's been long, and ever since then I'll just cut it every couple years. But now I think I think I'm gonna grow my hair out. I think.
Right? I'm like, it's giving. I'm thinking I'm gonna do my blonde in a wig. So I think I might get a blonde
Yeah.
wig. But then I don't wig well. Like, I really,
So
really want to be
okay,
a wig girl.
I have some
I'm not.
offline. I will share you my little suggestions about that because I feel
Okay.
I. Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you. Because I'm like, it's for me, it's again, things on my head.
Things on
This
your
is
head,
the
and
reason why feet in hair is hard for
you're
me
gonna be
because of
looking
my
at it.
wig.
You're gonna be like, I see that. I see. Yeah, I know. I already feel what you.
Okay.
I'm in a
Thank you.
similar. I know.
Thank you. Because I need it. But I'm getting a blonde wig, y'all. So if you see me out in a blonde wig, know that you knew this was coming to mind your business.
We warned you.
Um, and know that my hair can do and will do all things. So, um, the salon experience. Let's
Okay.
talk about it. Let's talk
Okay.
about it because these salons, and I didn't go to salons growing up. So I never went to a salon that gave me the terrible experience and did the thing. Actually, I've had very good experiences in salons
Okay.
because I
Good.
only go to black salons and I only go to ones that have good reputations of handling and speaking life into black hair. So
Yes.
I've not gone to the black salon where they talk bad about your hair. They don't want nobody with 4C hair in their chair. You need to come with your hair pre-washed and straightened. Like, I've just never experienced
Yeah.
that. The salon that I go to is called Good Hair. Good Hair
Okay.
Salon.
Nice. Me and my mom. I think my mom and I are literally the only people in the entire world that just cannot have a good experience at the salon. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I just. It's never. It's just. There's been so many times where it's not necessarily that my hair turns out badly. It's not. That's usually only like a small percentage of the time. It's just
Mm-hmm.
usually the way that I'm handled
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. I'm sensitive. Okay, I don't be making fun of me and talking about me and saying all these things. Like I don't like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. Some people like to chide each other and poke and stuff, but I don't like that. Don't make fun of me. There was the last time I had a pixie cut, traumatic. I got it pressed. I got my hair pressed, and this woman was she was burning me left and right. I was like, okay. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you must be sensitive. I'm like, skin burns. I don't.
Right. Like, yeah, skin is sensitive. Yes.
Just all these things of just people blaming me because the style didn't turn out well. Telling me that the reason they couldn't get the style that I wanted because of X, Y, and Z, and you don't drink enough water. All these whatever. I'm just like, this is why I have to be a DIY girl. I have to. I just
Mm-hmm.
There was one person that I had such a beautiful experience with, and she doesn't do hair anymore. But I met her. She was married to my coworker, and that was like such a gentle experience. And she was also, like you said, a person who puts love into it, cares for your
Mm-hmm.
hair, that kind of thing. But it's just rare to have that now. So I do it all myself. I don't want to, but
I mean, that's me in the nail salon, so I get it. Because if you're going somewhere for it to be a calming self care experience, certain things taken away from that, like I might
yeah,
as well
man.
do my own at home. But when it comes to doing my hair, when I had locks, I did my own hair for years, and then I thought, wait, people go to the salon for this? Because I'd be taking them all weekend, and so that's what got
Yeah,
me into going to the salon. I didn't like for some reason it just didn't connect because that wasn't an experience that I was used to having. When I started going, I loved it, but now that my hair is natural, I'm like, again, I'm just used to doing, I have these patterns and rituals with my hair. I wash my hair weekly. I condition. I do hair masks. Like, I like to do these things for myself. I like doing my
yeah.
nails now. I love
And
to
it's
like
self
put that.
time. Like it's self time is time for you to bond with yourself. It's time for you to get used to your hair, to learn your hair. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that your hair changes periodically. Didn't know that either. It's just you're learning what you respond to, but it's also just time for you to just know what you need personally.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing
Yeah.
what you need is a big part of it.
Yeah, literally. It's so indulgent. It's so
Yes.
rich. to just care for yourself, especially as people who are socialized to care for everybody else but ourselves first.
Yeah, and we're taught to be content with being neglected.
Ooh, yes, you bringing up those salons again.
Well, I mean that, but also just in life of like, if you're a Black woman in work or in school, you're supposed to be used to being chosen last or not chosen at all, or told that we're not quite competent enough or whatever it is. It's like we're supposed to just accept that, and it's like, but what if I just want to be happy, and just what if I want to do more with myself, and people expect for us to just be okay with not caring for ourselves or being cared for by others.
Say that, because another thing that is a part of my hair journey, it was actually realizing that people expected me to not like my hair. Like that was just the expectation. I was like, wait, I was like, no. I was like, now who said all that? Because I know what to me. I ain't never said that.
Right.
Where
When
did
I
these
when I was like
assumptions come from?
22, I would, and this was like 2012, so it was still fairly new. People thought I was like, they thought I was from across the pond. They thought that my family thought I was going through a crisis. It was just all these things where people were just so like confused. They weren't upset with me or anything, but they're just confused. Like, what's going on here? What is this style is called a Bantu? What is a what? What kind
Yeah,
of
it's definitely the subtle messaging, because again, in my own family, no one ever said that black hair wasn't acceptable. No one ever said it wasn't
right?
beautiful. I was listening to James Brown say loud, "I'm black and I'm proud" when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
right? But people were getting perms. I never got one because it was making my sister's hairs, fall out. So we were
Yeah,
finding that perms were not for our hair type, not in our family. So I already knew that. I never got one. But it was just the subtle messaging there, the
very
subtle
small.
messaging in society where, if you walk outside, I remember braid outs are a thing now. I remember after I would always get those same 4 rolls back, wear them for a couple of weeks, unbraid my hair. I'd be like, my hair is so pretty right now. Like, I wish
Yeah,
I could just wear it right like this. I could have
and
invented
then people
the
were like,
braid out as a
ew.
little girl in Portland if somebody
And
would
then
have
like,
just let me
it's
wear my
dirty.
hair.
You can't do that. It's not. I'm like, but it looks so nice. It looks all crinkly and looks. My mom was like the pioneer of our family of everybody going natural. Literally, like when she did it, she already hadn't had chemicals, but like deliberately. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she just led the way for everybody, and it was me and her, but she was the only reference point I had for that, like learning
Mm-hmm.
everything. But then again, I'm glad too that her way of handling me when it came to my hair and how I look and all these things was always really kind. My mom was always very kind in the way that she would speak about me and how I look and all
Mm-hmm.
that thing. So I think we don't all have that, which
Yeah.
is something that I try to remember when I'm talking to others about their journey, because a lot of people don't have the reference point of having kindness in
Ooh,
reference to how they look.
real.
Some
I've
people have,
heard
we didn't, in our family, we have, most families that are big, every shade, right? We have
mhm,
every single shade. We don't have this thing in our family where we talk about people's skin color.
mhm.
When I would meet like friends and stuff and they would talk about it, I'm like, is that a normal thing? Like, I have a big family. And the only people all the people in my family are black. We don't talk about skin color and hair type and
Whew, girl.
I didn't know that that was a normal thing because we don't do that in our family.
Yeah, I mean, I same. Like I didn't go to the salon, so maybe I would have gotten comments there about my hair because I do have 4C hair.
Yeah,
But my
maybe.
mom never made any comments. She was also the pioneer of going natural. She went from having a perm, because I do remember her having permed hair, but she, was still wearing her natural hair, just
Yeah.
permed. And then went from that to locks, locked herself, locked up my dad. They both had locks, and then I wanted locks because of that representation. So it was definitely there leading the way, and not having her act like my hair was harder to handle than other people's in my family.
Right.
Though we definitely had comments from other people telling us which of us had good hair,
And
right? We knew
let
who
me
was light skinned and who wasn't because other people will tell you.
let me not lie, because when it was time for everybody to get their hair done, my aunties would complain, but that's because they had to do 4 or 5 heads in one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so I get, but yeah, it's all these little things like throughout, and you're thinking like you're collecting these thoughts, and like, oh shoot, all these little bits of things are just
Mm-hmm.
adding up to my value system about this.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I remember being in middle school with locks. This I went to a very white school when I was in middle and high school. I went to an art school,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was very interesting going there and just getting so much attention about my hair. And I would just be like, why do y'all care about why do you notice it so much? I would be like, all of y'all have different colors, types of hair, and I never care what you're doing with it. I never
Yeah.
ask you about your hair. Like, did you notice that? Like I would be like, you came with rollers in your hair the other day and I didn't ask you about it. It wasn't interesting to me. But I have a puff
Mm.
and it's like the whole class just needs an explanation. It's interesting.
It's wild too because since I was permed as a kid and natural as an adult, and I realized like, oh, people have no clue. Like when I was deployed in Poland, there was in Poland, Polish people are used to only Polish people. So even if you're from like Spain or something, they're like, we don't want you here. They're only used to Polish people, and the only black people that were there were us, the soldiers. And these people would be like, what is this whole all of this? They were just looking at our skin, our hair, and everything. They were just so confused. But it's odd to me that people are so fascinated by us. Like
Right.
there have been times, whatever age I was, there have been times where I've not very nicely corrected people about trying to touch me or trying to. I am I am not soft about that kind of thing because I'm like, hey man, hey, uh,
Yeah.
this is not a petting zoo, okay? We're
Oh
not.
God. Oh. And then why was it always older white people? Why is it that like the white kids seem to understand that the vibe that I was giving was not here, come touch me. But
Right,
the
but
adults
it's
just
older
needed to
people,
be
and I'm like,
like they needed to see that or have that or
but it's just like people who are like that. It's just like you don't see me in the same way you see another person. That's why.
hmm.
Because it's not, you don't just go up and touch strangers. That's crazy.
Right. Right. Be uncouth as hell.
What
And
the?
it's like when you point the behavior out to them, it's like then they can see how they're being weird. But it's like you knew you were being weird before I
No,
pointed
it's
it out.
you're
Like
right.
you like
It's
you
just
knew you
it's
were
just
being
that they're not expecting anyone to like respond. They're expecting people to be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna not cause a problem." Like, no, just act right. Treat people
yeah,
right. Treat
like don't be
people like
weird.
people. You know.
Girl, I'm having experiences with my hair where it's like grown adult people. I'm not going to give you grace. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
no, absolutely not.
I'm
No,
not going to give you grace. I'm not going to be nice about it because you should know better. And if you
they do.
don't, this is what you get for not knowing better, right?
I'm
Like
glad you
these
said
are
that because
experiences that will teach you.
I have this practice that I have this practice, and it comes from the fact that I'm a radical since I was young. It's my parents' fault. Anyway, I have this practice where I don't give people the benefit of the doubt when they're causing harm because even if you don't understand, which you do, but let's just say you don't. Even if you don't understand, that doesn't alleviate you from responsibility from causing harm to somebody. So
Period.
I'm just like, listen, man, I don't care if you didn't know, which you do. You know what you're doing. But even if that's the case, we all have to still take responsibility.
And that's on that. Like, because who taught you, right? That's a you thing. That is not
That's
a
giving that sounds to me like who raised you? Yeah.
or didn't.
And
Either way, you
that
need
kind
to
of
talk to that person.
that practice goes for a lot of things in life though. Whenever people are doing things to you that seem small or they seem like, oh, this person's probably just dumb or whatever. Don't do that because people that are deliberately causing you harm, they're going to try to hide behind you writing them off or saying that they just don't understand or whatever. They're counting on the fact that you won't take it seriously so they can continue to do these things.
Right.
So But yeah, that's a part of my radical politic coming out. Sometimes it slips out.
No, I'm here for that. I actually am very much here for that because whether you intended it or not, harm was done, right? So we
Right.
have to deal with the harm that was done. And especially if someone's an adult. I'm so
Oh,
sorry. If
yeah.
you're a whole ass an adult and it's never occurred to you that people could look like anything other than what a Polish person looks like be so for real right
And you
now.
know what else about that? If you expect that from me, then why would I not expect that from you?
Right. Come on, because people love to hold black people to special and higher and different standards than everybody else.
How is
But
it? How is it
when
that
it
I'm both incompetent and capable enough to help you? I don't.
look, so, but
You're funny.
when it comes to hair, I feel like we've kind of, hinted at it already. We've spoken about the representation of following both of our moms into being natural. But who taught you, how to do your hair in natural styles? Who taught you about Bantu knots? And even if it was YouTube University, what did that learning curve look like?
Well, it was fun for me because I feel like the hair stuff when I was learning the natural, like learning how to care for my hair, learning about my hair, it was a fun bonding time for me and my mom. And
Mm-hmm.
she was deep into YouTube. She was showing me all the people like Natural 85, Hey Fran, Hey, Cheska Lee. Like we were looking at all of them and we're just like studying and looking at all these styles. And my mom was teaching me the science. Kimmy too was doing full on science videos about the structure of our hair. And it was just really fun. And then I'm a creative anyways. I like to be all dramatic and interesting with my style in general. And I'm like, oh, I can do this with my hair too. Great. So I would just have all kinds of different like imaginative things that I would do. I would look for inspiration, but YouTube was big for me and my mom. The
Mm-hmm.
reason she has a YouTube account and was that kind of thing because we didn't look at the forums or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And her YouTube name is actually Natural Glory, like that's her YouTube name. And she's made a few videos about her hair, and I'm like, I love that. And that's kind of where, actually, that's where like our stuff with the business started a little bit, like little inklings of it. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
sprinkled in there over the years.
Yes, that's just like such a natural journey.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of natural. But yes, I love that. I feel like the teaching and the process of learning your hair really leads me to like the other part of what I want to talk about, which is the healing. Always.
Oh
The
yeah,
learning how to like manage my hair, which I have been told was unmanageable or high maintenance.
that word.
Learning that it was not, learning that it takes about the amount of maintenance that anyone else's hair takes, learning that it's just about love and consistency, and really the attitude that you go at your hair with. I feel sensitive about my hair now.
Yeah,
Now when I see black people in the videos where they're acting like they just can't do anything to their hair and they're yanking at it and they're trying to put a fine tooth comb through the roots, and I'm just like, oh my God, like please stop. Please
yeah.
just, you're hurting it.
You're hurting me.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing to it. Please, that's not what it
Yeah,
wants. Like we have to get to know who ourselves, and
yeah.
that goes for our hair, that goes for our skin, that goes for every part of us, because these white people will lie to you
They
about
will
who
they
you
will
are.
lie to us about ourselves because they don't want us to be the fullness of who we are,
Right.
which is crazy. Like
It
why?
doesn't benefit the construct of white supremacy for black people to love themselves. And
Because
thus a lot of time and energy and money is put into making us believe that our hair is not okay. Our hair needs to be covered, needs to be tamed, needs to be
yes,
transformed for it to be okay.
the construct of whiteness cannot exist without flattening everyone's identity, including people of European descent. Like people in Europe had whole full on cultures that was just flattened down into this one bland identity that's everybody is supposed to assimilate to, which
Homogenous,
is
like, yeah.
like I think people don't understand that it harms everyone. It literally harms everyone. It erases so many parts of what we're supposed to learn about each other and ourselves. It erases so many parts of like the fingerprint of each culture. It really does. And replaced it with something that's, I don't feel is natural.
Right. And I mean, of course it's not. How could it be natural if it's making something so unique and beautiful and capable and like, look, airy? Like, how could you tell me that that is ugly or wrong or, like counter to
Yeah.
what is natural? When
And
it's the most natural thing that there is for my hair to just be the way that it grows out of my scalp.
the conditioning that is taken is just like so many different factors, right? And it's like even the things that are told to us and that we tell ourselves at some point. There are people right now who feel like, oh, well, if I have this specific hairstyle or wear this specific kind of clothing, that means I hate myself. Or if I want to wear this kind of thing or wear this color or do this thing, that means I don't love who I am as a person. It's just like, once you discover who you are and you're going from there, you're not going to question whether what your decisions you're making are from love. Because if you know who you are, you'll know what's happening at that point. But what happens is like, as people, just as human people, we take in our environments, we take in the influences and filter them through our own mind. We synthesize them the way we do, depending on how we've been taught, right? We all get the same input, but depending on the output is like what we try to do with it, how we synthesize it. So
And how aware are we of how it's filtering through us? Because everything that we're ingesting, that's filtering through us and our experiences and our self-worth.
My parents taught me how to learn. They taught me how to synthesize information, how to do my own research. They taught me to question authorities in a ways that are helping me understand more, even to question them. And I think me learning how to do that is what helps me still be able to filter out what is from me and what is from external forces. It's like your ability to synthesize information and decide, what are you going to do with this that's being fed to you? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to eat the meat, spit out the bones? What are you going to do with it?
Yes, and then just realizing the power in that.
Yeah. And you
because then
mentioned
you're not
healing.
just things aren't just happening to you.
Yes,
You are
and
deciding.
when you mention healing, that makes a lot of sense to me because, like I was mentioning, the mental hump, a lot of that is healing.
Yeah.
A lot of that is healing. There's still people in my family are just like, girl, you still gonna be over here looking like this, and this, but it's like gentle, poking. It's not in a way of like, they're not putting me down. They're not telling me I need to change. It's just that they've accepted this part of me, and they just like, all right, well, we can make fun now that we know that you're in a good place, and we know that you're not gonna be sad about it. We can get back to, because the times where you kind of are afraid to you're kind of afraid to poke at people if you think it'll hurt them sometimes. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
somebody trying something new. It's not super established.
Right. So it's so many things. Like with the healing, it comes from like, what is your reason for going on this journey? Are you doing this because you feel like you have to? Because you don't.
Right.
Are you changing these things about yourself because you feel like this is the only way that's going to show others that you're authentic? That's not necessarily true either. Like, where is it coming from?
And what you about to do with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so huge. Is there anything that we haven't said about like hair love, black hair, the hair journey?
What am I thinking about? I think so. I mentioned the thing about presenting in the way that I think I should, right? Um, one thing that I'm glad about in the way of me choosing to do this kind of business, right, is I'm having to do that reassessment, like I mentioned before, that reassessment of where I'm at. And if I choose to present myself in whatever way, I try my best to show others that whatever way that you are presenting, whatever way that you're choosing to show up in this world, even though there can be elements of negative things in it, even though there can be negative influence in that, you're able to pull out the things that are fulfilling to you. You're able to pull out the things that make you feel like your best self. There's going to be people that are always going to be on the side of this is always wrong. There's always going to be people like that. But you got to decide whatever decisions that you're making. are they aligned with who you are? Are they aligned with what you want for yourself? And if you're doing that, these critics, they're always going to be there, even if they come out of love, but they're always going to be there. And you got to decide if you're going to stand firm in that, then you'll be fine. But that's what I want to try to put out to people is like, whatever it is that you're giving, you got to be content and fulfilled.
Yes. All right now. And I think my last word on this is your hair is yours and you are worthy of love. You are worthy of appreciation. You are worthy of celebration, which means that your hair is worthy of love. Your hair is worthy of appreciation. Your hair is worthy of celebration.
I love that. It takes patience. It takes kindness for yourself. And it's okay sometimes to not fully like it. It's okay to sometimes not be fully happy, but you always deserve love.
Yes, sure. All right, y'all. I'm Salenna Green. Oh, wait, not me getting ahead of myself. I am Salenna Green, though. That remains true. Janay, where can people reach out to you, find you in the community, support your business and your product?
Well, Belren by Altavis is available online. We have our website on Shopify. It's belrenbyaltavis.com. And I'll put it up here so you can see it. BELRENBYALTOVISE.com. And we're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm doing my best to post a little bit more on social media to share more education. We also have a blog that's showing educational tips and things like that. So we'll be available there. You can always check those out. I try to post every week. And all of our Instagram and all of our online handles are Belren by Altavis all together. All of them are like that. So you can find me on there if you need to, I'm the person that's responding to everything. So if you need to ask a question, I'll respond.
Yes. See, y'all, like there's tools, there's resources. You can do it.
Yes.
You're worthy. You're worthy of the time and the effort that it takes for you to have the life that you want. Believe it. Achieve it. All right, y'all. Now I'm Salenna Green. I was then, but now I especially am. And this is the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. It's been another wonderful episode. So y'all follow me on social media at Hot Girls Healing Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. You can join the conversation online with hashtag Hot Girls Healing or hashtag Healing in Community, right? Because we never alone. We're always doing it together. And y'all, I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful for you, Janay. Thank you for being part of my healing community. Thank you all for being part of my healing community. And I will see you next time. Bye. All right.
Since I know you're tired, since I know you're stressed, you were always favored and you were always blessed. It's all about that. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. We better day by day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes on and on. And when it all goes wrong, we'll celebrate so nothing's gonna hold us down. And it goes on and on. The healing takes it all. But we are proud and strong. Nothing's gonna hold us down. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing.